Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Venture with Joe and Cody. My name's Joe Skipper. I'm the owner of Skipper Realty Group. No, yeah, I'm the owner of Skipper
Yes,
Realty Group, brokered by EXP. I'm not the owner of EXP Realty. I would be a different person. I'd probably be pretty busy. But anyways, I'm
you
with
would
Cody
be.
Wilhelm with Residential Mortgage. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. I'd like to think if you were the owner of EXP, we'd still be doing this though.
Hopefully, I'd
Yeah,
remember the people that got me there.
exactly.
Like, well, it's funny because I mess up my name and my company more than I've ever. I think I've gotten yours 100% of the time
Every
of who you
time.
are and what your business is, and
Yes.
I can't get my own. So I don't know what
Well,
that
you
says
know
about
what?
me.
It's
Get too
okay.
nervous. Get too
You
nervous.
just yeah. You're just an autopilot with yourself.
I know. We need to alternate. I think you need to bear some responsibility and start to
Mm,
introduce this group.
yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm just gonna record one day and just
You're
stop.
so much better at it than
I'm
I
not
am.
gonna say a word until you get the hint that you have to say the
Yeah.
intros.
I
Like,
would be like, my name's Joe Skipper. I'm
you'll see how hard this is. Okay,
uh
you're gonna see
real
how hard this
estate
is. Man, it's really not hard, but somehow I make it look difficult.
no, you make it look easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. What's going on in your world? I kind of wanted to just kind of have a casual chat today about, this market and being a lender and a real estate agent in this market. I assume that most people that are watching this, maybe I shouldn't assume this, that agents are watching and lenders are watching.
Well, I'm
Maybe
sure
it
they
is
are.
people that are buying and selling.
They're all looking for
I'm sure everyone's
advice.
at the edge of their seat and they have their weekly meetings surrounding
Yes.
our podcast,
Let's watch it live. Everybody together.
Maybe we could ask questions of them, of these
Yeah, right.
masters of the industry.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm just thinking like I kind of wanted to give some, I guess, advice, different things that we might do in this market. We've talked about this. I've heard from agents that have been in, you've been in a long time, but I've heard agents that have been through 2008 and that are saying that these last couple years, and especially this year, has been one of the hardest times they've been through in the real estate market from a real estate standpoint.
Yeah.
Is that similar? Are you hearing the same sort of things on your end, or what's the deal?
Yeah, definitely. Same. And I think what's kind of added to that a lot from the lending side is I mean, not only were things crazy busy and everybody just gets used to that, and you don't have to put in really a lot of effort to get busy because it's just everybody that you talk to wanted to buy or refinance. And then you go to this time frame where rates go up, everything slows down. And for lenders, we have two streams of possibility, purchase and refi. And during the last 3 years, it has been purchase only, and the purchase side has been a lot slower. So we're starting to kind of get into a phase here now where it's like refinances are starting to become a little bit more of a thing, more of a talking point. People are kind of curious. It's been happening, but it's more of like just don't have any other option. I need to take out equity and I already have a HELOC and I've already
Yeah.
maxed that out. So like, yeah, it sucks, but we have to do this. Now it's starting to get to the point where there are people that are wanting to refinance out of their 7.5% rate. And it's actually making enough sense to do
Yeah.
so. So
Yeah.
it is starting to open up, but I think that that's one thing that has kind of gone away is just, even if it's just refinances kind of here and there, like there really has not been a whole lot. So that kind of cuts out a good chunk of your opportunity, and it's not worth marketing anybody or anything really, because you're going to find the needle in the haystack, but it's like, how much work do you go through to find that one person that needs to refinance? So, but then you also have on the purchase side a lot of first time homebuyers that have been kind of pushed to the back.
Hmm.
So first time homebuyer classes not really as effective. You know, you're shifting all of your marketing attempts and contacts to people that are in a position to be able to buy.
Yeah.
I think, from at least speaking from the lending standpoint, yeah, it's been tough. And I didn't get into it back in the 07, 08 range. I got into it in 13. So I didn't experience that previous slow, but this has definitely been the hardest for me
Really.
the last handful of years, because it feels like you're doing more work prospecting and reaching out and
Yeah,
marketing and doing everything with such little return,
for sure.
that it's kind of a defeated feeling. And I know I've had to like pull myself out of many slumps, because you're just like, I feel like I could be doing nothing and
For
getting the
sure.
same results,
Yeah,
which
getting
is
the same thing.
frustrating, right?
Yep,
Because it's like, then you
absolutely.
kind of convince yourself that, well, whatever. And it's like,
Yeah,
you need those little victories. And when you don't see them for a while, it gets to be challenging, but then you get that victory,
for
even if
sure.
it's just a good phone call. and you're like, okay, cool. This is why I'm doing this. This is why, and so it's been more of a mental battle, I think, than anything for me. And I think that's what makes it harder too. Like success makes you excited, and not only do you get paid, but you just feel good about what you're doing.
For sure.
So when you don't see it as often, it makes it tough.
Yeah, and I think success, it's interesting you say that, because I feel like you always have to, I don't want to say adapt your success, because I don't want to say you lower your
Hmm.
standards, but I also you have to also accept the market. Like I think there's a balance between saying I'm doing crappy and accepting that the market's not allowing you to do anymore, if that makes
Right.
sense. And I
Totally.
think that some people can see that as a cop out, and someone will be like, "Oh no, you can do as much as you want, and then no matter what the market is, and blah blah
Hmm.
blah." And I would say, yes, maybe there are that upper echelon, the upper few percent that can, continue to build year over year, no matter what the market does, and that is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and I'm not saying you can't, but I do say for the majority of agents or lenders that I see or that I think are in this world is adapting the success to not get so down on yourself, and understand that not only are you struggling, maybe, or maybe maybe you didn't reach the 30% growth this year and you got
Yes.
15% growth or 5% growth, or you maintain level. It's like when
Hmm.
you talk to other people that are like, I have to leave this industry,
Yeah.
like it's you putting yourself in a position, or to see relatively to what's going on in the market. And that's like,
Totally.
I got the same way. It's like we had a certain growth parameter that we wanted to get for our company, and we may meet it at this. We've had a recent boom to get, potentially there. But there were times in the summer that I was like, we're not making that goal. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm a failure because of it. And but
Hmm.
I think then you hear someone say, I've been in the industry 25 years, and this is the worst it has ever been. And
Yeah.
I that sounds terrible, but it makes me happy in the sense that I'm like,
I'm
okay,
with you.
we did not maybe get to that goal that we wanted to do because everything was going fine last year, whatever you were at. But
Yeah.
to say, okay, well, I didn't get to 35% growth, but maybe I got to 6% growth, or I'm staying good this year. I'm just going to keep an even like person. We didn't grow, we didn't lose, whatever that may be. I think just giving yourself some grace to say, this will get better. Like, as you know,
Yeah.
as we see historically, we will look back at this time and say that this was one of the worst times we had in our career, and we'll be happy we made it through, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It reminds me a lot of my first like couple years,
Yeah.
where it almost
Yes.
felt like, and has felt like, it's almost like I don't know what I'm doing, right? But I know what I'm doing. I know what works and what has worked, but it's not working at times. And so you're kind of like, okay, well, you like throw this idea out there and it doesn't really net you anything. So you're like, okay, well, maybe that's not going to work. Let me try this idea. And then that doesn't really work. And so it's kind of felt the same way. And to your point with it too, like adjusting our standards of what is successful and what is not. I
Hmm.
think it's hard when you have success, and success is different for
For
everyone.
sure.
But when you feel like you're having success, and it continues to grow year after year after year, and then you see that go away, and you're back down to a lower level of what your success was.
For sure.
At one point, you would have been thrilled with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you've seen a higher amount, and then you're kind of going, okay, well, this is kind of a bummer, but you're maintaining it, or you're gradually just kind of stair stepping. And that's kind of where it feels like right now, is like weathering the storm, and getting through it and learning a lot through it. Like I've probably learned more this in these last 3 years than I did in many years before, because like with everything, you learn through struggles and failures, and or whatever the word is that you want to use, like hard times, and you kind of learn not only how to be more resilient, but also like how to adapt to things, and
For sure.
where is the future going? Because we've seen AI stuff, and I'm seeing more and more of that, of like chat GPT. I don't remember what the statistic was. I wish I could remember it, but it was being used more and more for home purchase information,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Instead of just your traditional Google searching.
For sure.
So even just with adapting with stuff like that, you're looking at it going, all right, I could spend this time where I do have a little bit more time to be like digging into things on how do I how do I get myself to show up on Chat GPT?
For sure.
Because if that's the direction that people are starting to go, I know when my wife, who's not a techie person at all, when she tells me, I don't even know why I use Google anymore. I'm just going
Yeah.
to use Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And it's like, It's true because it just walks you through so much more stuff.
For
And
sure.
Google obviously is necessary for a lot of things, or your traditional searching. But in general, I'm like, wow, okay, if my wife who's not techie and my son who definitely he's kind of that's the future,
Mhm.
right? If that's their two go-tos when it comes to internet searching, how do I get there? What do I need to do? So I think it's good because it does force you to change and adapt. Whereas when things are going good, I feel like you can very easily start to fall behind because you're having success. How long will that success last? I don't know, but there is some beauty in the adversity as much as it's painful during it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the AI stuff is like, I'm thankful I'm with a group and with an EXP that's kind of on the forefront, and so I can get mentors in there. But man, it does. I think a lot of people, including myself, at certain times, you just get down and you're like you said earlier, like nothing I do is going to gain the client. So
Sure.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, proactively diving into stuff because eventually you're not going to have the time to do this stuff. That's how this
Mhm.
industry goes. Is
Yeah.
you're going to feel in this slump and you're going to feel in this way, and then the market's going to hit somehow or something's going to hit, and it's going to be like you get a call, you get a call, you get a call,
Yes.
and then you're like, now you can't train, now you can't find anything
Right.
to keep going. And in our industry, it's what you do now that 6 months from now helps you, and
Mhm.
it's not a week to week thing. So you have to continue to maintain if you don't want the roller coaster ride of clients and no clients and social and then marketing and then back down and marketing back down. Like
Yeah.
you kind of have to maintain it. So take advantage of these times. I would say one thing that I did when I first started and one thing I continue to do, even though situation has changed, is social media. If you are struggling with
Yeah.
money, if you're struggling with putting out marketing stuff, you don't have the monthly income, or you used to have the monthly income to put out whatever you love to do, your mailers or whatever you like to do, take clients out for $150 lunches and
All
and you
right.
can't do that anymore. Social media, going along with the AI technology, is the way to go in our society. Especially in the real estate world, we have definitely seen a huge uptick in real estate uh, agents getting on social media. There's still a ton that do it now, but there's still a gap for it. And one thing that Mike Sherrard, a guy in the one that helped found our group within EXP, he basically, a lot of he kind of broke through the intimidation of getting into social media. Like, look, this person does so well. They're attractive. They know how to speak. They did this funny thing. They do this cool stuff all the time. I have no place in this world. And he really put it well. And he's like, there are different buyers for every agent, in the sense that there's buyers that will see that same video that you think is so awesome and be like, I will never work with that agent
Yeah.
because they are absolutely unprofessional. I don't want that humor. I don't want that. I don't care about
Mhm.
the gimmicks. I want the agent that does X. Or, so if you're someone that you might think is boring and you just want to give facts, there are buyers and sellers out there that want data, facts, and they don't want the glamour. So
Mhm.
he kind of helped me to say, no matter what you see out in the world, don't compare yourself to it with other agents. Do what you're good at, do what you're comfortable with on social media, but can do it consistently, and you will get clients that match that, that want that.
Mhm.
And I would say to any agent that is out there or lender out there, I think lending has more of an opportunity, in my personal opinion. Maybe it's just because I don't follow a ton of lenders, but I feel like lenders have a huge opportunity to be on social media. Agents kind of do the whole gimmicky thing, or like, I'm going to
Sure.
jump in a pool and I'm going to do this stuff, like all that.
Yeah.
There's tons of that out there. So I do think it is a little bit more competitive in the agent world, but I do think the
Mhm.
lender world has definite opportunity to be that person out there that people are like, okay, like I'm going to use this lender who knows what they're talking about. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I think at least in my mind, I struggle at times with okay, what because my stuff is primarily more like informative, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
I don't do a
yeah.
lot
It's
of humor
numbers
stuff to
based.
it.
It's rates based. It's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd love to
yeah.
do humor stuff, but at the same time I'm like that's not my goal here is to try to
Hmm.
get like people just to watch to be entertained. It's to inform. But I do think that there is an element like with the real estate agent side um, where there you've got houses that you can show,
Yeah,
which does make it seem a
for sure,
little more of like oh wow, like that kitchen was amazing or
for sure.
whatever it might be. I think on our side, it's at least in my mind, it's like okay, mortgages are not anything that are cool or so it's like how can I make that what some of it feels like very boring things,
For sure.
how can it come across as less boring and more informative or cool if you can even make it seem cool. But I agree. I mean, I see so much more real estate agent content out there than I do lender. And I feel like I follow a decent amount of lenders, even if they're just local ones. I think there's just not a lot that's felt to put out there. So what I do see out there is like an image of a flyer
Yeah.
or, you know,
Yes.
certain statistics
Absolutely.
or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, you know, but there's not a lot of video. There's not a lot of stuff that is kind of engaging. And I don't know if others are running into the same feeling that I have of like, okay, how can I make this? What can I talk about that's practical, that's engaging, that's fun, that's just me in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So it is necessary because I do agree. I mean, we've only seen it continue to grow.
For sure.
You've got a great story on your experience through social media and where it's started to get you to and the success stories that you've had. And it's just like that consistency. So I think that that's kind of the hard part is staying consistent with it. But I love what I don't remember what the guy's name was, what he said though, because
Mike,
I think
yeah.
that's Mike. Yeah. We all want to compare. We all want to be that person. Like that
Yeah.
person's funnier than I am. How do I be funny like them without seeming like I'm trying to just be funny? And that's the whole point of the thing, right? It's like,
For sure.
just be comfortable doing what you're doing because it's not going to be for everyone. But like you said, that other person that's doing dance videos in the basement of the house, like there's going to be people that are like, why would I want that person to represent
For
me?
sure.
And others that are like, I love that.
For
I
just
want
as many
that.
that
I
want
want
it,
somebody
there'll be
that's
as many
fun.
that don't. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I follow a couple agents within my brokerage that are on YouTube that have thousands of followers that are data driven. He's just got stats, like just has the PowerPoint of stats. Here's what's happening in my community.
Sure.
Here's the apartments for sale. Here's the here's the single level, single family, you know, whatever it may be. He's just got stats and just has thousands of followers that are following that. And it's free. Social media is free. So it requires your time and it requires consistency, but it's free. But I would say with lending, I get your point that like, yes, the numbers are boring, but I would say real estate's boring. Like I would say, unless you're in real estate, it's boring. But I've gotten clients that have called you directly over just recently because of our podcast and because of our talking. They're like, oh yeah, I've talked to Cody. Like, and I didn't really even solicit you. Like, I think because they knew me and knew you from that, they've called. So I would say, like, if you're in the lending world, there's a huge opportunity. It's easy for me to say from the outside looking in, but there is a huge opportunity that even if you think it's boring, people like lending, particularly, tell me if I'm wrong here. Like, lending is about numbers, but I think people only choose lenders based on numbers. I think real estate agents get chosen based on family, friends, referrals, personality, you know, whatever. I think a lot of people choose a lender, one, based off their agent recommending who it is, but also if you are online and if you are super, you know, available to people that are watching and can tap into people that are buying. I don't know. I feel like there's less loyalty to lenders is what I'm trying to say, to where it's like you could take a lot of people that are like, yeah, I worked with this guy last year, but hey, you had some good data, you know, that I wanted to use. Like, I think that, am I wrong in saying that there's a less loyalty to lenders, or is there?
No,
I don't know.
I would completely agree with that. I think that there's, and it's something that we're always trying to work on, right? It's like building that relationship with the client.
And not to say you don't, and I'm not arguing that you don't. I'm just saying in general, I feel like agents that are good keep clients forever, keep their grandkids, keep their whatever.
Totally.
But I think lenders, it's like, yeah, my lender, I use this lender, and then I just moved on. And maybe that's follow up. Maybe that's also staying in touch with them through their years, you know, too.
Totally. I think the part that's hard, and maybe this is just my own thinking, especially now, since COVID, you know, everything, it's hard to get people to meet for mortgage related things, unless you're just like, you have to, you know, but then at that point, they're going to be like, well, I want to do it online, so I'm going to go somewhere else.
For sure. Not
getting a lot of like in-person interaction to where you can start to build that relationship. I'll do everything I can to kind of build it over the phone and personalize things more. But I think it may be a little bit easier to build that relationship, like as a real estate agent, because you get those face to face, you walk through the house with them. There's more of a trust that's built than over the phone and online. But I also think people too, it's like, I don't want to downplay it too much, but it's almost like, you know, okay, well, why would I Capital One card versus Visa card versus Discover card? Like, to me, I just want the best. What's going to be the best credit card for me? I don't have a loyalty, you know, I'm not brand loyal when it comes to that. I think there's a lot of that with the lending side of like, Sure. I don't who is going to take care of me and who's going to give me the best deal. Like that's
Yeah.
what I want. And so,
That's interesting
but
because I wonder, I think I've always, coming from my background and my parents, my in-laws background of in the real estate world, I've always had like the clients we build are kind of family, and so you
hmm
stay in contact with them more naturally. I'm wondering with lending, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too big. Like I'm thinking like this could be, but I think like lending could be that. I think a lenders downplay their role like in certain ways. It's like you don't have to like I don't reach out to people to just talk about their house. I think
hmm
like because I think if you could build the loyalty with them to say, hey, maybe the rates suck, but man, Cody's been with us, like giving us monthly newsletters or monthly reports on our
sure.
house or, those sort of things. Like they'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just going with Cody. I'm not
Right.
searching around for it.
Uh-huh.
But you brought up the credit card thing, and I'm like wondering if that's the same sort of thing that they struggle with too, is like keeping front of mind in front
hmm
of people, and that's I think real estate agents have to do the same thing, is just basically being
Yeah.
there. I don't think like we've talked about this a ton of times, is I don't go out there on Instagram and all that to get likes. It's not like,
hmm
oh, I need 45 likes, I need 200 likes, because that's going to show that I'm good. All I need is one person to say, I saw your video and now I want to buy $1 million home. Like, so it's going out with consistency to say, look, don't get discouraged by maybe, oh man, no one has liked this. No one,
Yeah.
like, I had 30 views on this one, those sort of
Uh-huh.
things. I think that agents and lenders can get super like, this is pointless. What am I
Right.
doing? I look like an
Yeah.
idiot because no one's watching it. But I
Uh-huh.
think you'd be surprised. I think anyone out there trying to test the waters, you're going to be surprised at consistency, because there's been more and more as the years gone on said, I'm going with you because you are always there. You're always
Mm.
talking about this. You're always online. You have the podcast. I've had lenders reach out to me and say, man, I didn't know how successful you were because you have a podcast. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
it's not that difficult to do, but I'm going
Right.
to keep running with that. But
Sure.
I think showing your credibility is a big thing online.
hmm
Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with that, but more of just like the consistency, it's free. So if you are struggling with money, get on the internet. You don't have to have a nice mic. You don't have to have a nice
hmm
camera. Just getting out there and showing people, you will connect with people that you actually end up liking to work with,
Right.
because they will like your personality, and in turn, you
Huh.
will probably be very similar. And so,
Right.
I think for people that are struggling with that, it's like getting out there and be consistent. But
Yeah.
anyways, I think
Well, and I
lending, there's a
think
ton of opportunity there
yeah,
with
and I
lending.
think too, like, because I run into that every once in a while where you're like, man, is this even like, is this valuable to anyone? Because if you don't get the feedback that you want,
For sure.
then you kind of feel like, well, is it even being seen? Like, they have analytics and all the stuff that tells you how many views and all that
For
stuff, but
sure.
you're like, is it really helping? And then you talk to someone and they're like,
Yep.
I love your videos. Like,
Yep.
they're super
Absolutely.
informative. And you're like, okay, somebody is watching. And I have to remind myself too of that, of like, I'm not I'm not putting them out there. I'm putting them out there as like educational pieces,
Yeah.
right? So that people can learn from it,
For
not
sure.
so that I can become
Become
like
social
some
media famous.
famous
Yep.
lender. I'm pretty
For
sure
sure.
that you don't get really super famous from just stating mortgage facts,
For sure.
but it's like, okay, I'm putting it out there for that, right? And if it's received well, great. If not, I can't point to anything that what I'm doing is like shameful or embarrassing or like
Yeah.
I can't believe I stooped. I can't believe
I
I
know.
got to that point to try to
I
get
know.
likes, where
I
it's
know.
like it feels good. I'm going to keep doing it for the educational purpose, but I think it's hard to not get wrapped into that like why does this person, you can see how many likes they got and I'm getting 10 and they're getting hundreds or thousands and it's like what are they doing that I'm not doing? But at the same time, what does it matter? Like I
For
shouldn't
sure.
be comparing myself to that person. They could have been doing this for 8 years
For
now,
sure, and more
and
likely, I
it's
was
taken
just gonna
them.
say, more likely than
Yeah,
not, they started at the same place you are. Like,
yeah,
and they, and so anyone out there that's like getting in that mode is like they started the same place. And you don't have to have it. Like you don't have to have it. You make it worthwhile, at least in real estate. You make it, especially when you're going free. One client
hmm
just made your whole time worth it, right? Like,
right,
because you didn't pay
totally,
anything. It took your time, obviously, and it takes your consistency, obviously, but
right,
it pays off pretty well. But yeah,
hmm
with yours, like, not to toot your horn, but like I like when I see your stuff out there. Like you've got good
Thanks, man.
video and things like that. And but I do think that's important. I think,
Yeah,
obviously we're in this world, but I think like Yeah, I've had people, like you said, Christina went to a client the other day and was like, "You guys are doing so great. We see you on social media and blah, 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 blah."
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I'm sure they don't like our stuff. I haven't seen them
Sure.
like our stuff or comment on our page or,
Yeah.
but when you get that direct feedback of like, yeah, things are looking good for you guys based on that, it kind of does give you that confidence. And don't be, I guess, again, a little advice is don't just look at the number of clicks and think, or,
Mhm.
I'm popular or not. It's like people are
Right.
watching. And there's
Yep.
a ton of videos that I watch that I'm like, great video, and I never like it or
Yes.
never comment on it.
Yes.
Um, so anyways, we've
Yeah.
been on social media this whole time, but
I know. Well, and one more thing, you kind of pointed to it a little bit, but I think, when I first started and I, I think the tendency is I need to get a really good camera, I need to get a really good microphone, I need to get this software and all this stuff. And I mean, I know you probably have a better setup than I do, but I spent like $50 on this little mixer and microphone and I use my phone,
yeah, it
so it's
sounds
like
great.
it
Quality's
does.
great. Yeah,
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't
need
have to be anything fancy. You don't have to have a studio. You don't have to have anything
for
crazy.
sure.
Like that's what everybody wants to get to because it looks cool and sounds good. But like you can go into it with just your phone and a cheap Amazon microphone and
Absolutely.
not look that much different than what these $1,000 setups are going to look
I
like.
know,
So
even behind me and behind you, it's like that doesn't. It looks like you have this. Like if we were to pan around, that we'd have this huge studio. It's like
yeah,
it's a disaster around
I
us. Like
know.
it's not what you think. But yeah, it takes very little. It doesn't need to be. I think people think they need to go from 0 to 100. They can't.
Hmm.
If I'm going to start, I'm starting as a podcaster. I'm going to
Right.
start and it's like it's ideal if you've got the money and can do it. That's
Yeah.
great, but it's not necessarily, and people will like you for who you are, and it will show through. It will show through on camera, but it will also show through on camera if you are trying to fake things. Like
Right.
if you saw me pulling up, like I can guarantee what would happen is if I pulled up to like and had a rolling video of me getting out of a red Lamborghini,
Uh-huh.
like all of my friends would be like, "What are
Yes.
you doing? Like,
Right.
what are you doing?" And the
Yeah. How
comments would
long did
not
you
be what
rent the
I'd
car
like.
for?
The comments would not be what I like on social media. But
Right.
there are friends of mine that are good. They have them, and they're
Hmm.
successful agents, and they're great. And that's the clientele they pull, and that's the life they
Right.
live, and that's awesome. I'm not knocking that,
Yeah.
but you have to be true to yourself and who you are with that. And maybe I will be a guy that like has Lamborghinis in his garage, and then I will like
Yeah.
make the videos. But
Right.
right now I'm good.
Yeah, I think the funny part too is when you see people that you do know and you're like, that's not the version that I know, but
Yes,
that's the
for sure,
social media version of
for
you.
sure,
It's
for
kind of
sure.
that awkward thing where
Yeah,
yeah, I've seen many videos not necessarily of people that I know, but I've thought that. I'm like, I wonder what the people that know them well think because a lot of them you can tell they're clearly acting and
for sure,
playing
for
into
sure.
this kind of character that they've created.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's like for people that know them that are like,
I
this is
know.
so weird. Like you're like two different people. You're like your social media image and then you have your normal image and they're
Yeah.
not the same.
And
But
like, I guess I'm thankful that I have friends like you and my old college friends that would never let me get that way.
yes, right.
Like if I owned a Lamborghini or a nice car, whatever a nice car it is, like if I owned that and I had enough money to do it, I would be bragging to them before I got online. Like
Totally.
I'd be
Yes.
like, "Hey suckers, I'm gonna drive this by your house, park it, and then I'm gonna
Yeah,
do the video just to rub it in."
exactly.
Because if I did it now, they'd be like, "Okay, did you steal it or did you rent it?
Right. Yeah.
And when do
Yes.
you have to turn it back in?"
Right. Whose friend's car is that?
Yes, exactly. But no, I would say like, kind of to recap everything, I think, we've talked heavily on social media, and I personally believe that social media is kind of an area that any agent can get into at any time for any price and be able to be successful. I would say be consistent. You could get a deal in a week. You could. Someone could call, love your personality, love your video, but be prepared to do it for a year at least to kind of just be consistent. Don't think of it as something that is necessarily income generating, but it will be, and be able to record that. So if you're struggling now, we all get it. Cody gets it. He's been in the industry a long time. I've been in a lot less than he has. We've all had our struggles and just kind of push through. Like adapt to things like you said. Take courses on AI. Do things that AI will replace agents that don't use it. Like they'll
Totally.
replace lenders that don't use it. It's not going to replace them completely. It'll replace the ones that just sit back and say, it's a fad. You know, it's not going to happen. Those are going to be the agents and lenders that go away. So take the opportunity if you are slower to learn from people that do it well and just repeat it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Like look at people that do well on social media or do well in the area that you want to do and repeat what they do and do it consistently. And I think we'll come out of this tough time much better off than the agents that just sit around twiddling their thumbs thinking,
Yeah.
you know, now what? I don't have anything. This sucks.
Sure.
You know? So
yeah. Well, and kind of
going advice?
Yeah, just going back to what we kind of talked about, but just maybe making more of a point of it, is being yourself will make it to where I think it's so much more sustainable. Because if you're feeling like you have to be somebody else and it's like, I'm not in the mood to do this because this is just, whatever, like I got to be this person on camera, I feel like you'll get burnout so much easier. If you're just yourself and you're doing what you feel comfortable doing, I think it's a lot easier to continue to keep that going because it doesn't feel like anything more than like, I just need to set aside time to figure out what I'm going to talk about and record it, as opposed to have to be in the right mindset or I have to be in this right space or whatever. It's like, just do it, be yourself, and it'll be so much easier to not get burnt out quickly.
Yeah. And to handle it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, because it is a long game. It's not
totally.
And Mike Sherrard, the guy that started our group, is huge on YouTube. If you looked him up, he's huge on YouTube and teaches a lot of courses on social media. And he says the same thing. This is not a long-term game. This is not a short-term game. This is a long-term game. So you've got to be comfortable doing whatever you're doing all the time. And if you're fake acting on these social media things, you're going to stop. So I would say the biggest thing that helped our business is me staying consistent. Consistent over a long period of time. We didn't get this successful in this podcast just overnight. We are not just an overnight success.
No, this has been day after day.
To go from 2 family members watching to 6 takes an effort. It takes consistency.
It does. It takes them
begging to watch.
Giving our young children access to podcasts.
Yes, exactly. The only way you have it is if you subscribe to our podcast.
Right.
Then we'd have to monitor them because they'll unsubscribe pretty soon.
Right. This is boring.
But yeah, what you see here is not this was earned over a long period of time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
But hey, if anyone is listening and they're struggling and they want to talk about it, Cody's there for the lending side. I'm here for the real estate side. All of us have gone through it, whether you're super successful or not. Agents and lenders are all seeing adjustments to their goals and their priorities and different things. So you're not alone. Keep pushing through. And if you need any help, Cody and I are here to chat about it.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're buyers or sellers and you're bored out of your mind and kind of like, why did I listen to this one? I just wanted to hear about real estate. We're happy to talk about that too.
Yeah.
So
jump onto the previous episode.
Yeah. Give us a call and we'll talk about that. But until next time, man, it was good talking to you and we will
you as well.
chat soon.
Sounds good.
All right, see ya.
All right. See ya.